Hi, I'm Tony Guerra. I'm an Ankeny parent with triplet 9-year-olds in fourth grade, and here's how to do today's homework, or math homework. But what I wanted to show you was how you can kind of make these tables in Microsoft Word, which kind of makes it a lot easier. So the issue what we have is we have these multiplication puzzles, and you'll just get a lot of messiness because they're trying to do this mentally or supposed to do this mentally. And when they can't get it, that just means that the model is poor. So the model is too hard for them and doesn't really help them. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to show you how to make all these boxes. And what I do, and I'll just make a couple of boxes, is do the table. So they're 3 across. We're going to need an empty one in the middle, and then 3 across again. And each problem has 3 boxes. So what we'll do is we'll just take this one and we'll get rid of, and this may seem like a lot of work at first, but you'll see how you can just kind of copy and paste it and make it so that you can have as many as you need. But what you can do in Word is you can just kind of get rid of the top border like that and just keep doing that, and then get rid of one of these bottom borders. And now you have the same kind of 3x3 boxes that they have in the problem. And so the issue with well, let's make some copies of this because we're going to need them for our next problems. And we'll just put another space there, another space. And another space. And I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make 6 because I want to add another box that maybe gives a better model. And I think this model is kind of poor. So the model for what to do, you kind of got a times in here. And I guess you can center it if you really want to. You just kind of copy this because this is going to be in all of them in that kind of top corner. We just kind of center that and just put it here. It's going to make me do the formatting in every one, but let's just start with up here. And that's supposed to be a times. There's a 2 here, a 3 here, 300 here, and a 2000 here. And the idea is that you're supposed to be able to, figure out what's next. And the issue is that you're looking at a static piece of paper rather than the actual how to do it. So the way that you do this is you multiply whatever's in the ones place, and then whatever's here on the furthest end in the hundreds place. So you're going to get 6, and then you look at, okay, how many zeros do I have? And so we'll just bold that so you can see it a little bit better. And then I say, okay, well, 1, 2 zeros, and that's what I add. What trips kids up is that they're doing the same thing, and let's unbold that stuff here. Okay. And they're going to get over here, and they're going to like, okay, 2 times 2 is 4, right? And then how many zeros? All right, so now I have 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay, so I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay. Here's 3 times 3. They should be able to do the 9. And then, okay, what am I doing? Well, you can kind of do 2 things. You can go from the original, or you can kind of see, okay, well, I have 2 zeros in this one, 2 zeros in this one. Well, probably should have 2 zeros in that one too. And then you do the same thing over here where they're doing 3 times 2. And what I think they're not getting is that it's this number times this number, because they're used to seeing everything horizontally. So they're used to seeing something like this equals 6. And they're not used to seeing, what are you talking about? This guy and this guy. And I multiply this, and that's my multiplication, and I skip this completely. So what might be easier if you're kind of trying to introduce this is say, okay, well, let's get rid of everything else. And what we could do is we could do this, where I have to say, okay, well, I'm just not getting that it's this box times this box. So what I might do is I might put these all in a different font. And so what I mean by that is I would take these like this, and I would say, okay, well, I want that in white so I can't see it. It's still there, but now I can't see it. Okay. And now I'm going to take this in white and I'll put that in white. And then I'll put that in white. And now you show them this is 3 times 2000. For a lot of kids, this is all noise. You might as well just be playing a radio in the background or the television in the background, because they're not getting that it's this number over here times this number over there, because they've always been taught it's 3 times 2 is 6, and we're going to do this linearly. But now we have this kind of box. And once you get the box, you're like, oh, okay, 3 times 2 is 6. And then I see the pattern. I have 3 zeros. Okay. And then we can just put those numbers right back by changing the font again. Just make it the automatic black font. It's always been there. And we'll just leave that there and leave that there. Okay. So we'll do the next one. And what you want to do is kind of say, okay, well, you know, we now are in a different place where we have different filled in boxes. We have a 50, we have a 4, and then we have a 320, and we have a 400. Okay. And now all of a sudden they're like, okay, what are you trying to do here? Like, do I multiply this 4 times 320? Do I add these two together? Do I add these two together? And what they're struggling with is, you know, why are we doing this in this way? This doesn't make any sense. That spatially we're doing this. So what you might want to do is, and you can just put your finger over it to make it a little bit easier for them, is to take away one that doesn't need to be there. Okay, so we'll take away this one. Okay, and like this, and we'll take away this one, and now the noise is gone. Okay, so now they can say, oh, 4 times 50. All right, I remember 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, and then I have an extra 0, so that makes 200. Okay, but again, now we've got to figure out, okay, well, I've figured out which ones, and I'll bring these guys back so you kind of see what's going on. And here, I think that was the middle one with the 320. Yeah, here. Okay. All right. And so now we have a little bit less of a puzzle. Okay. And we want to say, okay, well, which one would probably be the easiest one for me to do? Okay. And where I'm now stuck is it's really easy for us to say, okay, well, I know that this number times this number is going to be this number. But you need to get rid of these and say, okay, this is blank. And now I'm going to say, okay, what we're focusing on is here. And maybe you could just bold the entire thing. Or you could use this function, which is to bold the border. Okay. And there should be an outside borders bold or something like that. And it's going to undo it. I didn't want that. Okay, so we'll outside, good Lord. Okay, bold these here. Okay. All right, so outside borders. There should be a way to bold it. I've done it before. All right, maybe not. Okay, so, but you want to communicate that now we have this. And if they're really struggling, okay, what you want to do is say, okay, well, let's put this horizontally, so at least you have a fighting chance. It's 4 times something, okay, is equal to 320, okay? So what times 32, or what times 4 makes 32? And maybe they're at the point that they can say, oh, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 20, 4 times 6 24, 4 times 7 28, 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, good. All right, so 4 times 8 is 32. Now, we're missing a 0. This is going to be a really tough thing for them to kind of put in their head, is that, okay, this one has to be a 0 to fill all of that out. Okay, but again, the key is getting rid of all that noise, because what they're having trouble with is spatially, they've never, or they've likely not done a lot of problems in this way. We do the same thing in chemistry, where the easy way is kind of hard at first because it's unfamiliar. Okay, but now they should get some encouragement that, okay, well, our boxes are almost filled in here. We just have a couple more to get done. Okay, and we're missing a number here, and we're missing a number here. But what operation do I have to do, okay, to get this one? And I think the easiest one would be to say, all right, well, 50 times something is going to be 400. Let me get rid of these to make it a little bit easier. Okay, oops, I didn't want that one. I wanted this one. Okay, 50 times something is 400, and that something needs to go here. So what times 50 makes 400? And if they can't get it, okay, then just say, okay, well, what times 5 equals 40? And they might go, okay, 5 times 5, 25, 6 times 5, 30, 7 times 5, 35. Oh, 8. 8 times 5 is 40. All right. So 8 times 5 is 40. So 8 times 50, and we would add each 0, would be 400. Okay. All right. So that's how I would solve that one. And then now you're really encouraged. You've got all of these in. Well, hopefully you're really encouraged. Okay. And now you've only got one left. But this one is in the format that they've been accustomed to. Okay, so now you've kind of taught them, all right, I get it. I'm doing this kind of weird multiplication. I'm going to get rid of all this other noise that I have around here. And it's just 8 times 8 makes 64. I've got an extra 0. Now I've got it all set up. So again, I think that's the part that was really tricky. And that's kind of the toughest thing, I think, for them to kind of grasp. But if you get rid of the noise, you can cover it with your finger or kind of prompt them. It might be a little easier. So I think the next ones are not going to be too bad for them. And I think you're going to find that they're going to solve the next ones. And we'll put our times here and our times here. Okay. And we're given the left ones, 8 and 9. And we're given the top ones here, 70 and 400. And here we're given the left ones, 80 and 400. And we're given the top ones, 5 and 7. Okay. So this is in the form that they were taught before and that they're going to really succeed with. So this one, I think, which gave you the outside ones, is going to be the easiest. All right. But let's do our format here. So 7 times 7, 49. 7 times 8. And they might struggle. Okay, well, 8 times 8 is 64. 7 times 7 is 49. Is that a 56? Okay, 56, I add the 0. 8 times 4, 32. Add 2 zeros. 9 times 7, and this might bother them that this is still here, but you can get rid of this, again, by kind of using that, changing it from black to white. And so it's 9 times 7 is 63, add the 0, and then 9 times 4 is 36, and we add 2 zeros. Okay, and so again, the issue with this is twofold. One, they're just not used to doing multiplication and everything in this kind of manner. And then two, there's going to be a lot of noise as you start to fill in the boxes, but you just want to encourage them and tell them, hey, that's going quicker. Now, this is supposed to be a little bit tricky in that the bigger numbers are on the left now, and then the smaller numbers are on the top. But the operation is the same. 5 times 8, 40, add a 0. 5 times 4, 20, add 2 zeros. Okay. 7 times 8, 56. Okay. And then add 1 0. 7 times 4, 28, add 2 zeros. Okay. So that's how you solve those. But then it's going to get a little bit tricky where now I'm going to fill in the boxes, and I'm just going to pause the recording for a second, and then it'll just be all filled in because I just want to not waste time doing this. All right, so we're back and I've kind of filled these in. And the next thing we would do this next one, which is still in that kind of original format, what I would call the quotation fingers easy format. We would go 9 times 5, 45, add a 0. 9 times 7, 63, add 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay. 4 times 5, 20, add a 0. And then 4 times 7, 28, add 3 zeros. Okay. So this is what I would do. I don't know what you want to do, but I would wait for these three because traditionally, you're going to do the easy ones first, then the hard ones, then create your own because, on the level of Bloom's taxonomy or whatever it is that, you teach it, at the highest level. But what I might do is show them that this is really just a times table. And they could just take something, and what I would do is I would make it tangible. I would make it something that they can actually point to and something that actually has this many of. And so what I might do is I might give them some success. And so I've got 3 kids. So I would say, okay, you've got 3 kids and each of you has 10 fingers. Okay. How many fingers do you all have together? And so I might even put kids and then fingers here. Because now, instead of just, here's math, here's something tangible. And you're like, oh, I have 30 fingers. Okay, so the 3 times the 1, and then add the 0. Okay, and then they might do something, okay, I've got 3 kids, and each gets, now let's just change the number. Now I've got, okay, some kids come over to play, and now I have 5 kids. And I have 10 fingers. So now how many fingers do I have? Oh, 5 times 1, that makes 50 fingers. And so let's say I've got, a rich grandparent sends $100, for Christmas. And I've got 3 kids. How many dollars do you have when you have 3 kids with each $100? Ooh, you have 3 times 1 and then 0, 0, so $300. Okay. And then you got 5 kids and you got the $100. How many do you have? Oh, you got 5 times the 1 and then $500. And what this does is it can show their creativity and they can think of things that come in, those kinds of numbers. So then you say, okay, well, let's think of some other numbers. And let's think of something else that we might do. And what I might say is something like, oh, well, let's do parents. I've got 2 parents. And they're both working their jobs, and they made $400, okay, in whatever time period. How many dollars do they have altogether? Oh, 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, 0, 0. So they made $800, and that might be a lot to them. And what if you had, 2 sets of parents, and you've got 4 parents altogether? Then how many dollars do you have? Oh, 4 times 4 makes $1,600. Okay. And what you're really trying to do is just make it tangible in some way or another. Okay. And then let's say that you got a car and each car that the parents bought was $20,000. How much did the 2 parents spend to get 2 cars? Oh, well, 2 times 2 is 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. They spent $40,000. Okay. And I could move this over like a tiny bit to make it so it fits. Okay. And then if you had the 4 parents coming together, how many would you have? And then you have 4 times 2 is $80,000. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so much money and whatever. Okay. But then now they're kind of motivated. They've got kind of a good feeling coming back. And this is really where you're like, okay, so now we go back to the other ones. They're like, oh man, I thought we were done. Right? But then what they're going to look for is, okay, which one is the easiest one to do? And they're immediately going to eye this guy. So I'm going to say, okay, this 7 times 6, okay, 6 times 6, 36, that's 42, 4,200. All right, I got that one. And then this 8 times 30, and they may not even stay in the box, they don't need to, 8 times 3, that's 24. Okay. 200, but then it's a 0, so 240. And that's where they're going to kind of be like, okay, so I've got the easy ones down. What's the next easiest ones that I can do? And what I might do is give them a little bit of a prompt and say, okay, well, let's not even worry about these zeros. What times 7 makes 35? That's easy. That's 5. Okay, well, then what do you need to make 3,500? Well, you just need the other two zeros. Oh, okay. And then what times 6 makes 24? Like, okay, 6 times 2, 12, 6 times 3, 18. 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, so 4. And they're getting the idea that we're looking for single digits over here. Okay, so 4 times 600 makes 2,400. Okay, and then now they've got this one. Oh, cool, I've got them on the outside again. So 4 times 5 is 20, and then 0, 0 makes 2,000. Okay. All right, so we'll do the same thing over here, just kind of solve them, finish this out. I know I've gone over 20 minutes, but we just kind of take away the 0, say, okay, well, what times 3 makes 27? Well, that's easy. It's a 9. Okay, so 9 times 30 makes 270. Right? And they see that, oh, the single numbers are over here. Okay, I should probably be working towards those single numbers. All right, so now I know that maybe there's going to be a big number over here because that's what was happening before. So here we have 8 times something makes 56. So 8 times 7 makes 56. So there's going to be a 7 here, but I know that I'm going to need some more zeros. So 700. 8 times 700 is going to make 5,600. And then 9 times 7. Oh, I got that one. Cool. I've got these outside ones again. And it's 6,300. Okay. All right. And then I go to this last one, which maybe is a little bit, challenging. I think seeing a 10,000 there is a little bit tough for anyone. But if you let them know, hey, why don't you just take away the zeros, not all of them, because that's what's going to be a little bit confusing as, we were taking them away. And you're like, what times 2 makes 10? That's easy, 5. Okay. All right, well, 5 times 2, 20 is only 100, so I'm going to need 2 more zeros. And I think that one's going to be really tough for them. Okay. 2 times 4, oh, cool, I've got the outside ones again. So 2 times 4 is 800, right? Oh, wait a minute, I've got another 0, so it's going to be 8,000. Okay. All right. And then 36 divided by 4, oh, not allowed to use divided. Something times 4 makes 36. Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, 40 is 10 times 4, so 9 times 4 makes 36. And do I have enough zeros? Yeah, I've got enough zeros. Okay. And then 9 times 5, oh, cool, I've got the outside thing. It's going to be 4,500. So that's how I would solve it, and I would do it. And, again, it's really a matter of getting them first to get to do the easy ones and kind of show them how to do it. And what I would recommend doing is not actually going over here to the hard one first, now that I'm kind of looking in hindsight. I might do this one first, okay? And then I would do, let's see, so I do all the outside ones first. So I do this one, this one, this one, and this one. And let them get a feel for just the spatial kind of multiplication that they're going to be doing. And what I think is going to happen is they're going to get discouraged here. So I might do those 4 first. I might make it tangible by giving them some real kind of life things that would work, and that bold is going to make it mess it up, so I'm not going to bold it. But I would go these 2 next, and then I would solve these hard ones where you've got to kind of prompt them a little bit for them. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't want to go further than 25 minutes, but good luck. Hope this helps you guys out.